utilizing some qualified journals as the data of this research, the researcher found some results as follow. First, Mugiono et al. 7 found that there was significant correlation between linguistic intelligence and the student's academic achievement. It was proven by the result of the correlation coefficient was 0.662, which means there was a quite strong relation between students' linguistic intelligence and academic achievement. The participant of this study was English Education Department students. It also found that linguistic intelligence gave strong effect on students' English skills, including reading comprehension. It can be seen from the data that linguistic intelligence gave 44% effect on academic achievement. Moreover, the writers also found that emotional intelligence showed a weak effect on the student's achievement rather than linguistic intelligence. It can be said that linguistic intelligence gave significant contributed toward students' achievement in English, including reading comprehension. Actually, many studies also indicated the same results of this study, specifically in reading comprehension. In other words, the student's linguistic intelligence more gave contribution towards students' academic achievement than emotional intelligence. Second, Rahimi et al. 13 reported that linguistic intelligence became a strong predictor of students' reading comprehension. Then, the participant of this study was 90 Iranian students who took English major. Practically speaking, it also noted that linguistic intelligence was related with the students' cognition, which was involved in their successful in reading comprehension. It also found that linguistic intelligence predicted the students' reading performance because intelligence and cognition are part of comprehension. It means that linguistic intelligence is very essential in language learning because it is involved in reading activity. As it was discussed above, it is important for the teacher to make the classroom activity that is more involved the students' linguistic intelligence so that they can improve their ability in using language. Third, the study that was conducted by Dewey, 14, it showed that linguistic intelligence gave positive influence on students' reading comprehension. Besides, the participant of this study was 283 Indonesian students at Madrasah Pembangunan, Jakarta. From this study, it claimed that the students who had good linguistic intelligence tended to have a good reading comprehension. Because English language variable of linguistic intelligence gave contribution in improving the students' reading comprehension ability. It was related with the previous study that linguistic intelligence became one of the factors that can predict the student's success in learning a language because it involved the student's cognitive process. In addition, it also found some indicators of students' linguistic intelligence in reading activity. First, the students loved to read. Second, the students often spoke what they have read. Third, they were good at spelling patterns. Next, they liked playing word games and poems. Then, the students can keep their book collection. Also, they can remember general knowledge, quotes and words easily. Next, they can explain and interpreting what they have read easily. Last, the students had good knowledge about language use. Based on those indicators, it can be said that the students who have dominant linguistic intelligence have tendency to have good reading comprehension. In other words, by having a good linguistic intelligence, It can increase the students' ability in reading, because they understand what they have read easily. Practically speaking, the students and the teacher should be aware about linguistic intelligence. Thus, they can change their learning habit and learning style that is appropriate with their intelligence, so that their linguistic intelligence can be improved. Therefore, the teacher can create new ideas in teaching learning process, and choosing the appropriate teaching material that fit with the student's linguistic intelligence. 4th, Dewey and Willaney, 15, attempted that there was a significant correlation between linguistic intelligence and reading comprehension. It was shown from the R count was 0.68, which means that linguistic intelligence gave positive influence toward reading comprehension. Moreover, the writer also explained that the student's linguistic intelligence can be seen through some following indicators. First, students can write a story or essay about their daily experience. Second, they can express their ideas clearly. Third, the students had rich vocabulary. Fourth, the students enjoy in reading many kind of the text such as book, newspaper, magazine, etc. Fifth, the students can spell the words in foreign language easily. Sixth, they like listening to a story. Seventh, they can do a storytelling. It can be inferred that the student's linguistic intelligence can be seen by their interest in using a language. Besides, in learning process, it is crucial to use the appropriate strategy based on the student's linguistic intelligence in order to achieve good reading comprehension. Because linguistic intelligence can reflect the student's successful in reading comprehension. 5th, Aulia and Nuardi, 16, found that there was significant correlation between the student's linguistic intelligence and reading comprehension, with the data showed that 45.6% of the students' reading comprehension was influenced by the student's linguistic intelligence, which means linguistic intelligence have contributed toward reading comprehension. Then, the participant of this study was 55 Indonesian students. It also mentioned that the students' reading comprehension will be improved if their linguistic intelligence increased. As it was discussed above, the students' reading comprehension can be improved if they develop their linguistic intelligence, because it can help them in using the language effectively. Thus, it is important for the students to develop their linguistic intelligence by following some activities that related with language learning, for example, by reading a lot, writing a story and retell the story, also playing the words games. 6th, Hasanuddin and Fitrianisa, 17, found that there were some indicators of linguistic intelligence of students in reading subject. First, the students had excellent knowledge in mentioning words, such as they can express the words in his mind just by reading the title of the books. Second, the students were enjoying wordplay. For example, in doing the Scrabble games, they can answer the questions and arrange the words correctly. Third, they can explain the meaning of the words that they have read and discussed it. Fourth, most students were having difficulties in mathematics lesson. They prefer English, social, and history lesson than mathematics. Thus, the data showed that they only answered the mathematics questions randomly, because it was difficult for them. They also prefer reading short stories. Fifth, in doing the conversation, They used some words that related to something they have read and heard before, such as the words that they had heard from their classmates and the words that they had read from articles. 6. The students had the ability in writing the poetry based on their personal experience. In line with the findings above, the indicators of linguistic intelligence can be seen through the students' characteristics in learning process. Therefore, it can be inferred that the students who have good linguistic intelligence tend to have creative thinking because they can write poem and read it in front of their classmates. In contrast, based on Erlina et al. 6, it was found that there was a minimum number of students who had dominant linguistic intelligence on their study. Besides, the participant of this study was 28 Indonesian undergraduate students. Also, the writers mentioned that the aim of this study was not for generalization, but the result of this study was shown by phenomena in learning a language. The result showed some aspects of the student's linguistic intelligence. First aspect is rhetoric, that is the ability in using the language effectively to persuade others. 8. However, the results showed that only 3 of 28 students who used the language effectively to persuade others. For instance, some students had lack of linguistic factors in persuading others and delivering their ideas in spoken and written forms. Second aspect is mnemonic, that is the ability in memorizing the information. 8. It was found only 2 of 28 students who can remember and retell the information or the story of the text that they have read. Third aspect is explanation, that is the ability in delivering the information orally and written. 8. It was found that the students still face difficulties in using descriptive and figurative language in order to deliver their ideas. Also, only one student who used it well when she wrote a poem. Fourth aspect is metalinguistic, that is the ability in learning the language itself. 8. It showed that in reading class the students were active participate in asking the questions about the words that they did not familiar. From the result, it can be seen that in reading activity the students still had the curiosity in learning a language, even though they still faced difficulties in delivering their thoughts in spoken and written forms. Last, Reza and Tabrizi, 18, found that linguistic intelligence was the most significant predictor of the students' reading comprehension among the multiple intelligences types. It also found that the students with high linguistic intelligence were able to use the language effectively, that they were typically good at reading, playing word games, memorize words, storytelling, and making poetry. In line with the finding, Hashemi, 19, also attempt that linguistic intelligence made the strongest contribution in predicting the students' reading comprehension. In other words, the students should not ignore this type of intelligence because it influences their reading comprehension. In fact, the students still not aware about their linguistic intelligence. However, it is crucial for the teacher to give the chance for the students to develop their linguistic intelligence in classroom. For instance, by creating a learning strategy that related with playing word games and storytelling that involves the student's ability in using a language. It is also supported by Gardner and Arnold and Fonseca, 20, who states that it is important to know and develop the individual's different types of intelligence, including linguistic intelligence. Because all of the individuals are different to each other, that they have the combinations of intelligence. Therefore, based on the results of this research, it found that students' linguistic intelligence gave significant contribution toward reading comprehension. Hence, the students should give more attention toward their linguistic intelligence because it helps them to improve their ability in reading.